What's up, people? Welcome back to Sky in Mac. So as usual, I'm going to be explaining my weekly analysis, for what I expect in this coming week of September. This is the second, is it the third or the second week? The third week of September. From the markets, from the pairs that have been mentioned on the thumbnail. So before I proceed, I'll just really like to appreciate the people who are subscribing to the channel. Almost getting to 100, so I would really appreciate if you are brand new to the channel, or maybe you're old but you just don't subscribe for some reason. Just subscribe to the channel. It will really go a long way. I would appreciate that. And hit the notification bell if you want to stay updated of how things are going. For last week, apparently I had no trades fit my plan last week, so I couldn't take any trades. The entry opportunities I had, I wasn't getting triggered, like on the CHFJPY and stuff. But otherwise I understand it's part of the probabilities, it's part of the game, so you just move on. So I haven't had any trade last week, which means my accounts are still the way they were the previous week. Still up 81 USD on my MFF, which is approximately 1.6%. And that's how it is. Personal account, I no longer have a personal account. So I'm just trading my MFF for now. Otherwise that's how things are right now. Let's get straight into the analysis. So as usual, I'm starting with CHFJPY. Last week was pretty crazy. The market was a bit undecided. Never had any really specific direction trading. It was quite chaotic, but we did manage to almost catch a trade here on CHFJPY. I wasn't just triggered. As you can see, the 4H was very bullish. Although we did form some change of intent, but the general direction was bullish, as we can see, until we finally broke this structure right there. So when we broke this structure, I began to anticipate some sales on the 4H. So my 4H swing leg was from this high to this low, and my premium zones were somewhere in here. That's where my 61.8 retracement was. So I marked out my demand zones. Let me even show you. My supply zones. I marked them out. One was on the top right there. We can see this 15-minute order block right there. It's not the Asia high, so it's valid. The Asia high is just a bit up further, so it's a bit of a risky point of interest, but it's not the Asia high, therefore it's valid. Then there was also this one in the mid Asia range, this point of interest right here. This is the point of interest, my secondary point of interest, which I marked out. So I did this in the Telegram group. I showed them in the Telegram group. You can join the group if you want to stay updated on how I'm looking at the markets. So if you want to see how I'm looking at the market throughout the week after the weekly analysis, you can just join the Telegram group. The link is in the description. So this was my secondary point of interest that I was looking at, and price entered that zone and reacted perfectly. You can see the 15 minutes changed character. So the 15 minutes was bullish. You can see the 15 minute was going bullish, and then we broke this structure right there. So I anticipated price to trigger me in my premium zone there, but unfortunately price just did a shallow pullback and dropped from there. You can see price just melted and never triggered me in. So I targeted this low right here. That was my final target, and when price took out the low, we formed a new 4H range. So that range now became invalid, so those points of interest became invalid until they break a more higher time frame structure. So my new 4H range, which I'm looking at, is now this range that we have formed right here. You can see that range. from that high to this low, that the low that will be formed here. This is not yet a valid low, so I can still expect price to drop further. Yeah, but when we form a valid 4H low, yeah, then it will be a low, but this is a valid high since it broke the structure there. So we can look for our supply zones, our points of interest in here. So you can see there's already one here on the 15 minutes. This is the most refined imbalance. Next, maybe you should go to the 5 minutes or 1 minute, but I don't go to those time frames for my higher time frame zones. I always end on the 15 minutes. Yeah, so this is my extreme zone that I'm looking at on CHFJPY. Yeah, and then my secondary zone is right here. Also, see the imbalance ends right there. Yeah, so this is my secondary OB, and that's how I'm looking at price. Yeah, so this is my outlook on CHFJPY. I'm looking for sales right now. Yeah, and that's my 4H swing like that I'm looking at. So I no longer take risk entries because I don't have a personal account. I do that only on more risky accounts, but if you'd like, you can take the risk entry. You can set your limits as long as you don't form a new 4H range. Guys, the limits are still valid. You can set limits there, and your stop loss just above that high. Entry at 50% of the point of interest. You can see 50% is approximately right there, this high. Yeah, and you can earn a potential 1 to 10 if it plays out perfectly. Yeah, so that's my outlook on CHFJPY. Yeah, looking for sales, and since we're currently in the sell momentum, where do I expect price to drop to continue with those sales? So you can see the price has been bullish for a while. It has been very extended, that we've left this huge imbalance in price action right here. There's a huge imbalance in price action, so expect price to drop all the way down here, fill up this gap. The imbalance is also the same as a gap. Yeah, consider it as a gap, and expect price to drop to my zones right here. Yeah, so I'm expecting some sales to reach there next week, but it's possible it can do that. The same momentum can be replicated here. Yeah, and the price can reach these zones in just 5 days. Yeah, so these are zones that I marked out. I refined them, the daily zones that I just refined. Yeah, that's where I expect price to continue going bullish from. Or if we take out those zones, we can also look at these zones right here, but I doubt if price will reach here next week. So my main primary focus is just these zones. Yeah, otherwise for now, just looking for sales. As I said, I don't know where the reversal happened from the top, but you can see this is most likely the reversal. You can see it happening in action. So price was moving something like this on the 4H, got our first change of character, price will change there, made the BOS, and so we anticipate this momentum to continue. Yeah, so that's my outlook on CHFJPY. Yeah, and so we'll see what will happen next week. Yeah, otherwise price can still continue going bullish. As you said, you don't predict, you react. So if price does begin to form bullish structure, we'll still won't hold on to the sell idea. We'll obviously start looking for buys, yeah, to continue the overall momentum of the market. Yeah, otherwise that's the overall look that I'm anticipating on CHFJPY. So we now go to USDCHF. Yeah, so for USDCHF, as you can see, we've been selling off from that level that I marked out a few weeks ago, and yeah, we've been selling off heavily. So my anticipation last week was that price should reverse from these zones right here, yeah, which we can see price reached quite near, but so you can see the 4H was going bearish. As you can see, there was a huge bearish momentum. These drains are horrible. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so you can see there was a huge bearish momentum until price took out this high right here on the 4H. and we had a bit of a consolidation here. There was no clear direction, then price switched bearish, then we switched bullish again. So we can see that our current momentum is now bullish from this low to that high. Yeah, you can see we're now bullish on the 4H. Yeah, so overall we can say that price has reversed. We're now looking for buys on USDCHF. Yeah, and our most recent swing leg on the 4H is this one right here. Yeah, so you can see our discount zones are right there, and if we refine our points of interest, you can see that all of them on the 15-minute. Again, that's where the last imbalances are. So if you notice, I usually find my points of interest on the 15-minute. Yeah, because that's where I usually find my last imbalances. So as usual, I start with my extreme point of interest. You can see it's very clear. It's down there. Yeah, so we can just mark it out like that to the low. Yeah, mark it out down, yeah, like that. So mark it out to the last imbalance right there. Yeah, and that's my point of interest. The heck, yeah, like that. So this is how I'm looking at that's my extreme point of interest on the 4H. Yeah, so my secondary point of interest is right there. You can see right there, from that imbalance to that low right there. That's where my secondary point of interest is. Oh my god, this thing is disturbing a lot. Put it a bit up there. Yeah, this is where my secondary point of interest is. Yeah, then my second secondary point of interest, secondary, yeah, is right there, just near the 61.8 retracement level. You can see the 61.8. There's this line right here, this fib level here. Yeah, so right there near and just below the Asia low right there, that was not liquidated, this Asia low. Yeah, so it's quite a high probability, but since it's a tertiary or a secondary point of interest, yeah, it's low probability again. But yeah, anyway, as long as it's a point of interest, whether high probability, low probability, it still stands as a point of interest, therefore it can still work. Yeah, but for risk entries, obviously you want to stick with the high probability ones. Yeah, so I'm looking for buys on this pair. Yeah, if you want to take risk entries, as usual, 50% of the extreme OB. Yeah, extreme point of interest, or the extreme supply or demand zone, and you target the high. So this is not also a valid high. I'm still waiting for a valid high to be formed, so I'm still expecting some more upward move, or maybe possible the retracement can just begin from there and we can form a valid high. Yeah, otherwise that's the current outlook. So I'm expecting some buy. So if we continue this buy momentum, where am I expecting price to reverse from? Well, very simple. You guys know exactly how I look at my levels. So right there, looking at that level where I anticipate price to continue selling off from. Yeah, but if those levels are taken out, then I'm looking for the 4H reversals right there. Yeah, so very simple, very simple stuff. But if we start forming bearish momentum, as usual, begin to sell. Updates the way I'm looking at price action in my Telegram group. You can join it for the updates, and you can also share your own personal ideas in there if you prefer. Yeah, otherwise if we start forming bearish momentum, this is where I'm anticipating the buys to begin from. If we take out those lows, well, there's some other lows here that I'll update in the group if we eventually take out these lows. Yeah, otherwise that's my current outlook on USDCHF. Looking for buys overall. Yeah, so pretty simple stuff. Euro USD, let's see what's happening with my favorite pair. Yeah, so last week we're anticipating some buys, of which price failed to retrace to our demand zones. So ever since we caught the reversal trade right here, broke out this structure right here, anticipated price to return to this demand zone and I buy from, but we just formed a shallow pullback, reached there, and we eventually took out the low and started looking for sales. Yeah, so Euro USD has just been forming some shallow pullbacks recently, since, as you know, I look for deep pullbacks. Yeah, so it has been pretty crazy, but if you notice, the 4H was began bearish right here when it took out this low. Began bearish, retraced, broke the structure again, therefore we formed a new range from here to there. Then price took out that high right there, therefore we're looking for buys. So we're reacting to this demand zone, of which I won't really explain that much why I'm looking at this zone, but it's a demand zone that I consider also. Yeah, otherwise right now you can just consider these major levels that are marked out. Yeah, so our 4H range is from this low to this high right there, which is also not yet a valid high, so price can continue going bullish, and I would have not formed a new range until we form a proper retracement. That's when I'll consider a valid high. So that's the current high that we have right now. So our discount zones are obviously right in here, and so this is not really a valid high until we form a proper 4H retracement. So price can continue still going bullish, and it won't be a new 4H range. Yeah, to just continue making what can I say, it will just continue in the push phase. Yeah, so okay, what I'm trying to say is this: if price is moving something like this, when we break structure like that on the 4H, I'm waiting for price to retrace something like that. That's when I'll consider that a valid high. Therefore, if price retraces whichever level it retraces to, as long as it does not take out this low, whichever level it retraces to, if we eventually take out this high, then we formed a new 4H range from this low to this high. But now, if price on the 4H is still in the push phase, it's still in the momentum phase, then I can still mark out my demand zones and I can still wait for price to retrace. But if it's still in the push phase like that, then I still continue adjusting my fib from this low, and I continue adjusting on the highs, that the high, until price forms a proper 4H retracement. Yeah, so right now the fib ends ends on this high, but we can continue going bullish to the upside. Yeah, and we still have the same 4H range. Yeah, so if we go now to the lower time frames to mark out our most recent our demand zones, as usual, I also found this one on the 15-minute. Oh wait, I think I found this one on the 30-minute. Let me just check where was the last imbalance. Yeah, so for this one I found the last imbalance on the 30-minute, the lowest imbalance. So since I'm looking for buys, this is where I found my last imbalance on the 30-minute. Yeah, because if we go to the 15-minute, you'll notice that the imbalance is a bit higher than this one. So you can see on the 30-minute the imbalance ends right there. But if we go to the 15 minute, let me go there, or any other time frame, you notice that the imbalance is a bit higher. So you can see there's no imbalance here on the 15 minute, it's a bit higher. The imbalance on the 15 minute ends right there, so therefore my demand zone has to be raised from this level to that level. But you can see if we go to the 30 minute, the imbalance is way lower than that, so that's where I end my demand zone. Yeah, for the 4H. Yeah, so we'll see how next week will play out. This high can continue going somewhere there until we form a proper 4H retracement to update everything in the group, Telegram group. If you can join, link it in the description. Yeah, otherwise, since now we're in a we formed the change of character right here, we're going bearish now. We formed the change of character right here. We're expecting some buys going next week, which can possibly still make some sales, but you can see there's a few reasons to go bullish, to fill up this gap obviously, and yeah, maybe continue selling off from there. Yeah, that's what we can look for on EURUSD. We can look for some buys and expect the reversals in these zones to continue the sales. Yeah, but that's my outlook on EURUSD. See how next week will play out. I just hope I can get some good opportunities next week so that I can pass my MFF phase 2. Yeah, still up by 1.63%, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and the days are enough to make just about 3% on the accounts. Yeah, I'm sure that's enough. Yeah, so we'll see how things will go. Otherwise, if you made it till the end, thank you very much. That's really good for my audience retention statistics on my channel, which is good for the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, continue watching till the end. Yeah. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I really appreciate. If you want to check out the other videos on my channel, you can check them out. They're all about forex and other money making methods. Yeah, so I'll be updating how things will go as usual in the Telegram group. Link is in the description. You can join. Otherwise, if you made it till the end, thanks for watching. Peace.